Welcome, guys. Freaking Wednesday, and it's a beautiful one, at least for me, because I like the way how we behave with trading so far. And not gonna lie, and I'm not really someone to brag about it, but quite a lot of things played out. We're gonna have a look at it in a second. But starting off with VIX, and technically we are starting to hold on the structure, right? So we are still on the daily but low time frame when we start to look at the lows that we settled on 17, and that's what I've been setting as well. We need to break the 17 to either continuous going lower so we can go with the market higher up when the volatility is not there. But now it looks like, and that's going to be depending as well on a couple days when the daily start to form it, we start to hold on the support. And it could be as well the potential that we're going to run at the highs of 20 or even filling the gap, 23. That means a little bit more downside for the market. Like we know what's going on then, right? And then, yeah, I'm not really looking right now at the 31-ish area, but so far, this is going to be definitely the range that we're going to stick into it. Definitely into play as this, break out from it, or at least grind your way higher or some kind of form of gratitude running it into the highs if we only gonna hold on 17. Breaking that, obviously we're gonna run the lows and we're gonna get back quite close into the 14 just because there is not much any more structure holding us below, because this has been tested. This is not a real structure over here just because it didn't create any higher highs, so it just a flat line it. I don't consider that one. It's been already tested with the wick, and the rest is just below and around 14. So 9 cent for me, it's 14 to break that or hold that. But yeah, anyhow, when we're gonna do that on 17, still the same potential way. Moving on Dixie. And yeah, Dixie still holding on the whole support that we've been getting into this 97-ish area. Now we did get above the 99 into this whole gap. We didn't fill it quite well. We had some reversal on it. And now we still could potentially break that and yeah, get a little bit more higher into it. This is still potentially upside momentum, right? Till we're not going to get back below 96. So then we are below the mid-range. So yeah, Dixie. Yeah. So yeah, this is still going into the highs, into the resistance, right? We still didn't break the mid of this whole range, but we are still in. So technically, we already form a new support at 97. So that's that. Moving on, and this is well what I've been yapping quite a lot about it, and this is quite heavy that I'm holding on it just because this tells you the whole market situation where we are in. No matter which coin runs the highs or it goes even higher up, this is holding on the whole volume and market cap of the whole market, crypto market. Easy as that. So if this doesn't go higher, then forget about the rest of the market will go. Right? This is the whole key flow of the momentum. And where we are, we've been at the resistance once, twice, and almost 3 times, and we are still aiming to go lower. Right now, where are we? Technically, we are right now in the middle of, that's the wrong one. Technically, we are at the middle of the range and trying to break that. Break that, you're gonna get back at the small support that we are creating at 698. But overall, structure-wise, this is downtrending. And just because we are holding on this low over here, with the higher low from this positioning, we did create a lower low over here. So we are still downtrending. So if this support, I mean, it will provide some kind of a bounce and some kind of hold on a positioning for a second. Let me just do one thing. I always forget. So far, this might not even hold for long, right? So I'm not really considering this as a big support. It's there just because we created it for the up movement into the resistance, and now we are starting to break that on the daily time frame. So at least on the high time frame, we start to get back at the mid of a range, right? Getting lower, then you gonna be getting quite close in the 700 billions. That said, we still downtrending. There is nothing changed. The breakout that we had over here, it was a fake out, and we retested perfectly and we dumped from it. Same thing, what we are doing here as well. Second test of the resistance, and we create already overlapping resistance potential, so that's already starting to be heavy on it, and it's still pushing us lower. So yeah, easy said. We aiming to go lower. It's a retracement. Still, we're not gonna break the lows. Jesus, my phone is killing me. Going off and off. And weakness in the gold. We see that as well. We didn't even reach the underside retest of 5K. And we are already turning around on it. It's a really quite heavy weakness on it. Right? We still potentially can hold on 4.3, but that's on the only one. After that, we're gonna sweep the low below the 4K, right? So there is still downtrending, and even then, like we didn't create any higher high, or at least higher low. So yeah, we are downtrending, right? Weekly wise, that's the high that you need to regain, and we are technically on mid of the range of that weekly period. We are turning around now, failing the 4.4-ish mentioning. We're gonna sweep quite deep just because everything is tested, and then the only thing that could hold you potentially is only this on the weekly, this small hip before we're gonna nuke through this all of that stuff over here. So yeah, potentially it's a lot of things going on, right? Silver, same thing, even weaker than that because we've been quite heavily downtrending and we are even below the mid of the whole range. So yeah, we're aiming to get lower, right? Now, vice versa is the oil. So happy days as well. We're gonna have some expensive times coming up to us, and there it is, right? It's still downtrending right now. After this whole momentum, we did break the low, right? That's okay. But now, if we get close to 113, I mean, now it's gonna make it or break it. If we're gonna hold that, us and we're gonna regain that, we're gonna go higher or grind into it, or we're gonna fail from it to get into the lows. So yeah, we are in a range still. But now it's gonna be depending what we're gonna do. Are we gonna do a higher high or higher low? So something to keep an eye on it. Um, Netflix just glancedly mentioning, yeah, we are holding on to support, so this could be a really good buy. I'm not even thinking about it to buy it at that high. I really want to run the lows and fill the gap and then see any potential support over here. If that's gonna blast into the highs, then be my best and yeah, take it like as it is. I'm not even thinking about it too long. So that's my opinion about it. And the whole dominance. Now things start to change a little bit because we did run into the highs. We went through all of this resistance and we got into the main one at 66. So good stuff. I mean, we did the thing. Right now, if we start to turn around, and this is a thing what basically we want, but I'm not sure we're going to get it. If dominance start to reject and get back at 58, the only thing what we need to have is increase in Bitcoin and then the alt start to increase. But if both will fail, as right now we are looking at it, not much gonna change and happening in the market yet. All right, so yeah, both of them can settle lower. Even Bitcoin can go lower. What kind of we aim, because there is shit of things to do and to aim for. So far, yeah, let's see how we're going to be dealing with it. We did the thing and we get at the resistance, right? Now, potentially we're going to reject that and get back at 59 first and then see if we're going to get lower on it. So yeah, moving on. And now here are the things that we kind of predicted and we've been talking about it for a while and I've been vocal about it. So please don't think this is some shenanigans going on because it's not. It's basically what we are doing. It's easy as that. We doing exact the same fractal what we used to do around 90K. Easy as that. Why? Because this is a freaking range that we've been for 4 months. We've been grinding into the resistance. We've been getting all of the liquidity, and then we quite easily failed significant amount of percentage down, right? That was 37%. What did I do? 37%, right? So that's something significant. Are we going to do it again? I mean, I don't want to say we're going to do the 37% right now. Still, there is some stuff to hold and to break to get there, like we did it over here, because the only thing that it was holding us was technically the low of 85. That same thing counts for the whole low that we are holding right now, and that's the low at 65. Break that, you're gonna sweep the lows quite heavily, and there is quite heavily of liquidity below that. But in the meanwhile, yeah, we do have support over here. That's the daily, that's the previous daily, and then just a little bit over here. That's the previous weekly, by the way. So yeah, we technically aiming to get there. But first thing first, we will meet some support and some heavy liquidity. So I don't think we're gonna do exact the same thing, but it's starting to form that we will aim to go lower. And then it's gonna be the question if we're gonna break the lows, yes or no. And to be honest with you, even right now, we're doing it a little bit more better than last time, because last time we did run the highs and we did close higher on it. So we technically regained that. But then still, we failed to hold on any kind of potential lows. So, and here, we still, and like I've been saying, structure matters. Why does it matter? And it's only on the body, because we still didn't regain that hip of 78.7. We came close, but still we didn't close above that. And I'm still holding to my T's that that's the resistance. Why? Because we can break above that level. That's why it's that level that's much important into the whole structure. Right? So, and we are already third day in retracement instead of going higher. Why can we not go higher? Because that's fucking resistance. I'm sorry for my French, but it is. Till we're not gonna break out of it and close anything above it. Yeah, maybe 4-hour close above it. Like that's fine. But then we still broke the whole lows up and below, and we delete the whole structure. So that 4-hour doesn't matter. That's why the daily high time frame, the flip of high low and to high time frame matters, and still didn't happen. So overall, right now, what you're aiming for is to get back at 73.9 and see if we're gonna hold that even, yes or no. And then the rest follows after that, just because there is quite heavy liquidity, and by that we're still aiming to get close to the whole core line, right, of the liquidity. We are right now, after retracement of almost 5%, we are getting into the high time frame liquidity, right? So yeah, we are pushing it lower. There is some news coming in, right? Fed press. That's the last one of Powell as well. So goodbye to him, I guess. Still, all of this been already like technically played out already. So the volatility is there. Then yeah, the Fed conference, but that's not going to change much. It's going to be adding the volatility into it, but still you need to see anything on the close. What's happening. And now what do I see? Let's go by the capital flow. From the momentum that we got it from March, from the lows over here into the highs, we've been quite heavily into the capital flow inflow of it, as in much more pressure to buy it. And now the first time at the high at April 26, that's 3 days, right? 3 days. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was on Sunday. Yeah, I was just thinking about which day it was, but it was Sunday. Yeah, that was the Sunday close and Monday open. On the weekly open, we are decreasing on the inflow of capital. So that means people are taking profit, they're cutting off the trades or whatsoever. We are starting to flip into the stable coins. When that happens, we all know that if that happens on the top, we have quite a major pullback happening, because we are doing on the high time frame the flip of capital, the rotation of capital. And it's not anymore in Bitcoin or in the large caps, but it's much more right now in the stables, and maybe it's going to float into the altcoins. That's the whole rotation what's happening right now. So the pressure to go higher, it starts to get much more slower or even less of a pressure, right? And we see already over here as well, that whole decrease of capital happened even the peak for Bitcoin was here. The only thing what we did after that was just the test and the run up into the high of it. And now we are starting to get even in the middle of a whole neutral line of capital. So yeah, all the oscillations starting to turn around, and we have even the trend change on them. And now The big thing is coming, what I've been mentioning as well for so many times. I was waiting for the cross of cash flow, right? That cross over here on the peaky top of that previous high that we had. And look what we locked in yesterday. Literally, that cross that came in. That means another form of take profits. Cash is going out of Bitcoin, right? As easy as that. The whole oscillation trend didn't change. We didn't cross it yet, and we are turning around. So there is a lot of stuff showing and aiming to go lower. As in main one, structure. So yeah, adding to that one, so this is the daily one. Here you have 1 hour. If you are not familiar, I'm not really keen on that one, but that's just the squeeze potential, which what Smyrna is talking about it, right? A lot of times. And we are already in negative outflow, and we've been quite high at the resistance, because that was the freaking 1 hour resistance, right? There it is, structure-wise. And we are nuking through it. We nuked even to daily open. That didn't even hold us. Cash flow out, capital flow out, oscillation is down, and even the strength is going down. Done. Picobello top, right? Again. Now, on the capital flow overall market overview, market overview, where are we? But I've been saying that for weeks. What we're gonna see when those two things, VIX and Dixie, start to increase? Is it not another capital rotation and funds rotation and market rotation? Yes, it is, because Nasdaq and S&P was quite high, breaking high. Market of the crypto market was neutral. Dixie and VIX was nice in the bottoming, but that's not gonna last forever. Where are we gonna be when one of them start to turn around? That means always first thing first, VIX and Dixie start to turn around. What's gonna happen after that? We're gonna have quite heavy flip of the rotation, right? So yeah, a pullback at least it's necessary in that kind of form, and we are on the daily. Right, weekly is not gonna be that much of a change yet, but yeah, in the next week we will see this changing. But on the daily, you can quite nicely see where is the capital rotation right now and what's happening, what starts to happening in front of you. Now here it is, right? Now moving on Bitty, and this is well what I just want to show, like the really nice catch of the short. Like I've been saying, I will freaking short any kind of failure, even it's going to be on structure or from February. Done. Like I'm putting money where my mouth is. Right? I've been yapping about that for freaking 4 months. That the February failure is my short, and I hope that that's going to be the short for the next bear market cycle. Because I used to short even, to be honest, the tippy top of this, retest of that, and freaking short of that. Like always, I do. I don't care about anything in the between of that. But the major ones, I attempt to get them. Why? Because for me, the structure is there, still untouched. I mean, yeah, we've been touching it, but we didn't change that structure. The level that matters is still February. Why? Because that's the second time that we are rejected from that February level. Right now, we're doing it on a high time frame. We used to do it on a low time frame over here, but now we're doing a retest. What does the retest mean? It means we're testing a level. If it's valid, yes or no. That's the test. Done. Right? Like as simple as it gets. Right now, to be honest with you, that daily, that looks rough. And we're going to get back at 73. That's good. That's fine. Let me hide this. And so far, we've been failing on the 4-hour swing failure over here as well. Like if I'm going to go back, what did we had? We had quite a nice run up over here, a 4-hour close, a strong 4-hour close. Perfect, right? That's what we wanted it, but we needed to hold it. Did we do that? No, we didn't. And now it comes into the Now you can see if you understand the structure, yes or no, or the swing failures. Because if I remove everything, what did we do? That's the high. We've been super heavily holding on this whole structure over here. And it was good because for a moment, I had the idea. So if we're going to hold that, if we're going to create any potential structure into the highs and we're going to grind like this, oh, we're going to blast through it. All right? That's what I've been thinking, because that gives me the idea of this whole hardcore hold over here on structure. Then you break it once, you failed on the high, you break it twice, you didn't reach the high, you break it again. What did you get? So where is the 4 hour already? It's in a broken structure. Most likely, what you're gonna have is, or we're gonna poop over the cliff and just go with it, or we're gonna do a hardcore retest. What's the hardcore retest? It means you're gonna almost round the highs. This is why I'm doing this always. There it is. That's your failure. But then where is the confirmation of that? Here. You break through all of this stuff again. And then again. Now, what did we do today or beginning of the day? You still run the whole momentum or the late short, because those are the late shorts. And then what you need to regain to get higher up, you need to regain at least this to even get at the highest point. You didn't. Now, that 4 hour candle, where did it close? Here. Are we in healthy structure or are we in broken structure? I think that's answers quite well, right? So we are in a broken structure right now. After that, where do you follow? You follow up with this. You're going to test it at least 75. Because that was a hardcore bounce into the highs, what you regained. Now, closing below 75, that's not really nuke down because you still have support, but that's going to be a hardcore retracement. Then all of this, what you did into the highs, from momentum of this high into this high, all of that start to turn around and you are in a broken structure because you are starting to change the character on a high time frame. Anything done on the high time frame, it deletes everything what you're doing on the low time frame. I hope that's clear what I'm saying, but at least it makes sense in my head. But this is it, right? And like I cannot say anything else. Like for now, the only thing that can save you is regaining the high of 77.8. Then you're still facing to get at the resistance of the weekly and the February, because that weekly level still didn't been tested. That only then, when you flip that weekly, that's your last change of the whole situation we are right now in. And I can gladly say we're gonna go higher into the 90 or 80-ish. Now at least 90. 80 we definitely gonna be there, but at least yearly. But that's only when you flip the weekly level. Before that, there is not even talk about it. Because what you did, and this is something as well. Like today, open, and let's say I'm stretch it out a little bit because I'm gonna take it from at least from yesterday, 6 o'clock. We did 2.3% up movement, right? And we delete that with one big ass candle. Literally, what we just did from yesterday, actually from yesterday, exactly the same time when I'm going live, we just delete that with one candle. It's gone. So where is the trend? Yeah, downtrend. They're still downtrending. And what's the momentum for it? At least all of this, what we are dealing with, what's below us, all of this, that's already in kind of billions, what you can count it. This is like, yeah, mid liquidity range, but this is heavy. So all of this to Q2 is really heavy. Then still we have below that much more liquidity. But then it's questioning, are we going to hold it, or are we going to wick into it, or we're going to break everything and literally going to follow into the lows? And then follow up with all of this. Because that still can happen. But yeah, we are still in a broken structure. And right now we are aiming and we are getting, what did I do? We are getting quite close to break the 75 because there is a lot of liquidity. Grabbing that, yeah, it's not going to be all depending how we're going to be closing anything. But overall, daily, that looks rough. That looks like it wants to dump quite hard. So yeah, that's technically that, right? Like there is not much if we create even order blocks above us. I think that's going to be already overlapping. Sure. Like, yeah, see, already two overlapping, heavy one. So resistance is still there. I cannot say nothing about that. And we are breaking the whole low time frame at least already, and 4 hour again. So now it's a time like, okay, getting back at 73, it's going to be the daily break of structure because the daily is still uptrending, right? This is still uptrending like that. Now getting back at that low still potentially could bounce us to retest and do the underside retest fully of the structure, and then we're going to break it. That's still in place. Yes, that's still intact because technically, and myself personal as well, like I'm not really a person who gonna long into the resistance, but at least that pullback on the daily into the weekly here, that should be giving you any kind of potential of bounce, at least into the underside retest. So yeah, you could long that, but be careful because that still can nuke quite hard because you have another one below. Right? Everything what's in like in a mid something, I don't tempt to take that. I always take the high or the low. That's kind of my thing that I develop in years of doing. I don't like that mid-range shitty structure because that could be like a division as well. But yeah, that's something that I'm doing. Still, it plays out quite heavily. I've been longing it from. I'm already out of that long, by the way. But anyhow, I've been longing it from 66. That's been already freaking almost 20% of what I did. And now I'm shorting it from 79-ish area. So if that's going to be the Picobella top, I'm taking it. I'm going to ride it again. That's my thing. I don't bother with 1 hour or 5 minutes or whatsoever time frames. I don't care about that. I like my life and I like to do things more than sitting in front of the charts. But yeah, there it is. And this is something that I'm looking at Bitcoin. And even that, like, yes, I'm happy that we did a freaking high close on the weekly, right? Yes, we did. But we did that over here as well. And I've been mentioning that as well, that I've been saying about it. Watch it. We need to close it above it. We didn't over here. And what do we do over here? Did we? Or did we not? Because that doesn't look like we close above that. We still could fully retrace that. Yes, oh fuck yeah, we could, because the weekly is still not down. But still, that's didn't regain anything. At least it only regained the March, and that's all. But I don't care about that. I care about the most highly fully pushed level to the downside that it took us 4 months to get around that. And now we are testing it. So that's it. And it's even that, like, yeah, that monthly can be have a good close as well, no matter what. But then to get into the highs of 100s of 107-ish area, yeah, that's I don't see that happening yet. But that's on the monthly. That can change like for a couple months and maybe even in the next year. Let's focus so far on the highest time frame so the daily does the thing. And it does, right? So far, so good, in my opinion. And now as well over here, 4 hour. How does the oscillation work? Where are we? Like, same thing that we had the highest point of capital inflow on Bitcoin at peak of the previous daily high. That's the high of 77.3, right? That was the highest peak. That was the highest inflow before we turn around and cross the trend line for the first time, right? And even that, like, if you start to zoom in on things, oh boy, it starts to get clear. Like, look what we did with the high frequency bots. Like, it went down from the highest peak that we had on April the 15th. And then what we did on the daily is lower it, lower it, lower it, lower it, negative. Literally on the day that we close below weekly in February. Done. Day after, negative cash flow. And look at it, turn around, trend change. We didn't get the reversal sign. Okay, fair enough. But still, four things laid out instead of 5. I take that. I am. Well, that's just me, I guess. So yeah, let's see how we're going to be dealing with 75 and definitely 73. Because we didn't been there since, boy, April of 20. That's 9 days. And we start to turn around. Like I've been saying that as well. Like weirdly enough, I start to pay attention on the way how indicators start to print things. Like for example here, like I've been saying that the whole uptrend what we had over here, right? Every single daily was like below us, below weekly, or weekly was below, daily was below. So that was like a trend to go higher. Now look what happened over here, right? Weekly is above, daily is above, then we have the second daily is above, third daily is above, and now we have the local dailies above the price. It's like that's the pressure from all of those levels to push us lower, right? That you can look at it like that as well, technically. Where is the trend, right? I don't talk about the trend lines, but where is the trend? What's the trend? The trend was over here, uptrending, right? Because every single daily pushed us higher, every single weekly pushed us extremely higher. And now, where do we turn around? So I hope that's, I don't know, makes sense. And then as well over here, I know you don't have access to that one, but where did it turn around? Like the outflow of capital was already at 72.2 because every single way after that was lower or lower-ish. There was one more heavier than that, but then still it was lower than the previous one. So look where we are right now. If you start to break down things, it's technically paints the picture for you already. Right? You don't need to sit in front of the charts and like calculate every single candle or whatsoever, because that's not the point. Right? It's just see the bigger picture and then do your whole analysis about that. So yeah, that's I think enough about Bitcoin. We are in broken structure. We did break even one. Do we? Yeah, we did break 1 hour already. So it's a factor of time that we're gonna run into the 75-ish area, and then just let's see if we're gonna hold on 73. That's all. We did a perfect retest of the high. We bounced quite heavily from it, and now we are in kind of a sell-off period. Still, we're not gonna regain anything. So down it is. So yeah, that's Biddy. Let's have a look on different things as maybe hype, for example. Hype start to break stuff. We are not, I mean, yeah, okay, so fair enough. For our, we did break the low, that's fair, but we're still holding on this whole major. Technically, that was a perfect V bottom as well. Like this kind of scenario, that was a perfect V bottom. We couldn't hold that. So fortunately, we still aim to go lower, right? Because we are still in the downtrending momentum on it, right? So what I'm aiming for is for hype to hold at least at Q2, right? Just because there is quite a lot of liquidity stacked. That's a really nice pocket to get and grab and bounce from it before we're gonna aim to go lower. And at least like this whole pocket, like yeah, you can argue that we could potentially be in a support area and take this out, and then you're not gonna border below anymore. So yeah, then overall highest time frame is still untouched because it's still in uptrending if you're gonna get back at this and move higher. I will argue that. And believe me, I will look for any longs over here as well, around the 36 and 35-ish area. That's kind of my goal. I already closed the positioning for all of the longs that I had on alt. Not sure if you go and guys saw in the alt section that I've been longing all of that and the rest of my tokens. Right now, I mean, the only one that I am in is the short on Bitcoin, a couple of them on different exchanges, and that's all. Like, I'm good with it. I took like massive profit on the longs and closed them quite nicely. So that's why the next one I'm gonna look at it, at least for hype, that's gonna be around the Q2 and a little bit more into the 35-ish area. Yeah, I think we're gonna wipe all of that. And then yeah, look how perfectly. That's as well like I like about hype because it's stacking liquidity quite nice to the upside. Like locally we have some gaps, that's fine. But then the high time frame, it's still really nice. And that could send us quite high into the 55 in this resistance that we've been struggling with. So yeah, that's a good one. That's a definitely good one. Injective, yeah, I mean, I don't need to say anything about that. Like that long over here, that was freaking juicy one. I'm closed that already in plus 1000%. So that was a good number to close it. And yeah, it suits me well, right? It was really good right into the highs of all of that shenanigans over here. But we didn't set a new higher high. We didn't break out of this. So we are still a little bit in downtrending at the resistance, fully supporting of the retest, at least into the March, or we could even go into Q2. But then for a change, if we see anything to hold on the support, then we're gonna blast again. Or like, believe me, it will not surprise me if we're gonna do something like this, as in we're gonna have a pullback, break the low, and we're gonna run it again. Why? Because then, and I would like to see that, to be honest with you, we will have a really structured downtrend on it. Really structured downtrend, but it's all going in the really big momentum of percentage. That means it doesn't dump on you like it dumps. Fucking hell, what did I do? It dumps on you and yeah, sayonara, and we see how we're going to be dealing with it. No, it's structured. As in, going to do something like this, and then one day we're going to hold on the low, and we're going to break out from it. And believe me, those runs are not small. I had 54%. The previous one that I caught as well, quite nicely from the lows. Right, and now we did a 44. So those runners are really good. I'm not gonna like leave them alone for that matter, because I kind of like I know what Injective is capable of, and it's not something that's gonna be like dead on you. But yeah, that's still in the downtrend. I still gonna catch the long on it. Unfortunately, I didn't catch the short on it, but I don't mind about that. But yeah, for the long, I will look for it. Definitely Q2 if we're gonna hold on it. If not, round the lows and do it again. Moving on AVEX, that one is a little bit more in, let's say, shitty range, because yeah, we was in a good uptrending momentum for the February. We didn't even come close to it. So AVEX have some low volume going on. That's still good. But till we're not going to lose the previous weekly, we still could potentially get into the high of 9.7, right? And then another support starts at least around 8.6-ish area, right? So I don't think AVEX is going to break the lows because that's still, AVEX is in a different momentum than Injective. It's in an opposite. This is still uptrending, for all I can see. Right, this is all uptrending. So yeah, potentially 8.5 or a little bit more lower into the lows. That's still fine, but you're not going to break the major support. So that's good. So the second run up, we could potentially be at the February because that's been already like on the side retesting this whole week over here and potentially killing the whole value gaps. So filling the liquidity. As in, meanings there is shadows of liquidity above us right now just because we did this whole run up. So that's good. So potentially we could run this whole low, get into this gap, and then, yeah, do it again. Solana, same thing. Same thing as AVAX. Yeah, I've been mentioning that. I'm not gonna go through both of them because they have they are in exactly same structure. If I'm gonna do this, and I know it's fucking shitty, I'm doing this, but it's exactly the same structure. So getting back at 70 or 79-ish or 80, that's the support that I want to see. I don't care about this. We can break that. We can hold on the lows. And then we're gonna run the highs again on it. So yeah, happy about that. Really, really nice one. But yeah, we can lose the Q2 on it. So we're not gonna lose the support. Render have a good pullback after we get into the underside retest of this whole structure over here. Freaking amazing. And yeah, from the broken lows. So we did kind of have a good run up. Now there are a couple things that I'm aiming for. So let's see if we're going to hold on 1.6. That's going to be a big one for a bounce at least. And then if we start to break this, then this is still fine because we did create massive support around March. And that's above the yearly. So rarely you see a token, also alt token right now around the yearly, or sorry, above yearly. Right? That's quite rarely to see. So yeah, still strong, still good, but I wanted to get a little bit lower, so potentially a little bit more better entry on that one. Let's see if I'm gonna catch it because I had a really struggle with catching it. I did catch some of it over here in a small positioning, but the rest, it's render is a little bit hard to manage, and that's even coming from me. So, but yeah, that's all on my list. To be honest with you, let's have a look what you guys are talking about. Mm, 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 mm. Wait, you stuck on a long 76.6? 70. Yeah, you try to long the retest on it. Are you high leverage or are you low leverage on it? That sucks. What's your stop loss on it? Mm, okay, so you try to long the news. Yeah, okay. Let's start with that. And if there is a Fed meeting whatsoever, then don't trade. That's the best thing that you can do. Don't trade in that because that's always a fake out volatility that's not there, and it will reset after that. So don't do that ever again. Any kind of news, leave that alone. Start with basics. Start with structure, right? Either way, have a look for the structure wise if there is something, levels, and hold on any kind of positioning and stop loss below the wick or around the wick. That's what I can tell you, because if, like, at least if you're gonna be here longing this, right? Yeah, you could have like potentially a rebound from it, but then keep you stop loss below the wick, right? 0.9, like that's fine. Get stopped out on that. I rather be stopped out on 0.9 than have a fucking stop loss of 4%. Like, manage your risk, right? That's the biggest thing what you can do. Like, try to manage that. At least be a stop in a stop out, then stuck in a trade forever. I'm gonna go to the up call higher leverage. Ooh, yeah. Then I will close it as quickly as it is. I will close it because that's doesn't look like it's gonna reverse. You didn't mess up. Like, I mean, come on. Everyone is learning, right? Like, it's not that you messed up something. It's just a small mistake that we all been in. Like, most of the people in this community been in through that kind of stuff. Learning by the day. Like we said, like, you don't trade news. Like, never. I personally, I don't trade news. I don't give a shit. Like, believe me, when I say, like, I don't care about any of this, especially about this. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't care about the war. I don't care about fucking Trump speaking or whatsoever. Like, in a way, like, oh, now I need to long because he's gonna talk about it, or even that Bitcoin conference. I don't care about it. Why? Because still, structure first thing first. There is nothing else that matters more than structure. There isn't. Because if the structure is not here, then you don't have trading rules. Then there is nothing to trade. And if you lose something, then you go lower. If you regain something, you go higher with a retest or a pullback. That's the basic of the basics. Nothing else. Like I said in the beginning, what did we do here? Nothing. We came into the middle of it, on the side retest at least, and we heavily nuke it. Everything what we did yesterday from 6 o'clock in the evening till today at 10-ish, we canceled it with 1 wick. Sorry, with 1 candle. So there it is. And if you trade news, it's gambling. And we are here not to gamble. We're here to do good things with money that's invisible and it's made up to make our life much more easier. Yeah, I can have a look on that one, definitely. Any particular exchange that you want to look at it? Gamble a little bit. Get the blood pumping. Oh, there it is. The DJ one. Yeah, okay. Holy fuck, what's that? Is there a better chart for this? I have no clue what I'm looking at it. Oh my god. That doesn't predict some good things. Oh, at least. Is this it? Is this the thing? Then the things start to look differently, but okay. Do you confirm is this juice if this is the right chart for it? Yes, cool. Okay, you asked for 4 hours. I always start with the daily. I always want to see what the high time frame is doing. Overall, you already can see, and I guess you already gonna know what I'm gonna mention is, you had a really good uptrend, right? Like, yeah, it blasts through it. Like I have no clue what it is and what it does and what the fuck is going on, but it had a really good uptrend. But it starts already to be broken because it is already in a broken position on high time frame. Why? Not only was this your support, and not only was this your previous support, so you technically did high, low, higher high, right? Higher low, and then you did the higher high here as well. So yeah, that was that whole uptrend of it, obviously. And now what did we do on the daily? Like from the weekly open, you nuked it quite heavily and you close it already below the previous low over here. You are already, if you zoom in, because this is something what we call a sneaky close, right? You need to really zoom in to see that. Or maybe not, because I didn't pull the level quite nice, but it's still broken structure because you did close the daily that you've been yesterday into it below the previous low that you hold it. So yes, it is in a broken structure. After this whole run up, it's obviously you're gonna break that whole trend because not everything is gonna be in a trend. It's gonna be broken sooner or later. So yes, you are breaking the trend already. Next stop, if you're gonna nuke a little bit lower, is this on the daily. So you're gonna aim for 372-ish. If that's gonna be the hold, yes or no. Or if not, then you're gonna get back at the yearly. That's your list price. So you're not considering that. You're considering the high of the 343 because that's the first high that you drop from. That's the low that you break out from that high. Easy as that. That means this or this, right? Before you're gonna aim for the whole support at this. Now, looking back at the 4 hour, like you asked, it's gonna be exactly the same thing because if the daily is broken, the 4 hour is gonna be broken as well. And yes, we are, because that whole hour, what we settled over here, right? So this whole move momentum into the highs, what you had, and all of that over here, I'm gonna cover that in a second, been already wiped out. Now, if you're gonna zoom in, you could predict that quite heavily as well, because you had the high after higher high, right? You have the nice structure over here. And then what's happening is nuke of this. That was a sell-off. That's already first sign that something is going on because we have a really big sell-off. Now, moving on, you still didn't break the lows of it, right? Because the low is still been intact, right? But then after that, you didn't get back at the high. You had a small sell-off over here. And then this whole small hip over here did close below the previous sell-off. That means you are starting to be in a broken structure on 4 hour. That was the start. This whole hip over here was the start, followed by this small one, meaning you went below this structure. So we have already 2 broken structure on 4 hour. And right now what you're looking is run the highs, meaning you're gonna get close above or below this whole high. If you're not gonna reach it, if you're not gonna close anything below above that, it's in a broken structure. And you did settle high. After that, you broke that previous low over here with this one, and you nuke. That candle over here, this whole nuke over here, and the retest of the whole structure over here was bye-bye. So, yep. And now we are way below here. So we had potentially, not looking at that, but then what I will do is look over here and try to get as close to your previous high. Potentially, look at that, perfectly. 1% of stop loss. I take that. Everything below 2%, I take that. Perfect. Or you can even like squeeze a little bit more if you're going to be quick on it. So you could be potentially a little bit more below the 1%. And then this failure over here, sign that you're ready to put your stop loss in break even, and you're going to be here finding yourself in a freaking nice juicy profit of 6.9. That's the beginning. Now we are following up on it. Breaking this low again. Jesus, I can see my screen because sun is shining at it. Breaking this low again right now, before even running into the high of filling this whole fair value, you're going to find yourself at 372. Done. That's all. Because like every single trend breaks eventually. And now let's have a look in depthly what we can aim for. If there's going to be some liquidity. Let's see. Not sure if there's going to be some liquidity just because there is a fresh chart. Could be, but not guarantee. Going on here? Yeah, I don't think so. But then, of course, you're going to know that there is a buildup of liquidity with those stops in between. Weirdly, that doesn't show. Maybe on the ends. Oh, yeah. Oh, there it is. No, something else. I always look at it. Where is the trend following? So if this is your core line of the liquidity, you're following it above it. So you are going higher, 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 higher. Till that start to break. Now here was your first sign of break. And then you follow up with this whole break of the structure. And you are finding yourself below the whole core line. So now, what's the thing that you're going to follow? Is this. Go lower. Till you're going to flip that. Something to think about it as well. Take in consideration. Weirdly that the levels doesn't show up on it. But anyhow, I think you get the point. Right, and then yeah, keep an eye on it daily because the highest time frame matters. So all of the shenanigans what you did on 4 hour over here, like those hips, like I would not really care about that much of it because it's all small and not that much on volume, right? So it's quite dead of structure. So then consider it daily. If you're already in this whole momentum move into the downside, then consider this as a pit stop over here. And then the next one you're going to find reaching the 344 or at least getting back at Q2. That's it. Those are the things. That's all. Oh, so it's a stock. Oh, didn't say that. Oh boy. No clue what it is. But yeah, it's exactly the same structure. But here, there it is. Like, yep. There we are, and you have freaking gap as well. You gapped out quite heavily. Okay, so I didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, but yeah, there it is. Like this gap, that says as well quite a lot, right? Dumping it that heavily below the structure, it's done. Right? This is all done. Like I will not even think about it. We're gonna get there. Like I mean, right now, like even forget what I said. Like you need to get above 418 to regain the whole momentum back. Right? But so far, getting below December, yeah, that's gonna be a quite decent liquidity grab. And then again, same thing. This is well the daily that I've been talking about on the previous chart. Right? This is your first pit stop, and then you start to aim to get back at least 344 or Q2, right? Because there are shitloads of big gaps in between as well, and you attempt to run them. Here, same thing. What happened? Right? Look at that. You've been all uptrending till you had this gap down and even close below the previous structure, and you nuke through it, right? Can this happen again? Yeah, definitely. You don't even need to get back at the lows because, like I said, um, keep this as your support. So yeah, you could potentially do this and then grind it again and blast it off. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, you catch this. Like if you had this all along, take some profits right now. If you are not in the short, wait for the support. Yeah, good one. But fucking hell, what is it? April 2025. Blasting. Pretty short. Good. Fuck is this? Someone know something about this? Jesus. Yeah, good, good, good. Anything else? Are we gonna talk about it? Have some. I mean, here, if you trade oil, then I did cover that for a second. Oil, we are in a broken structure as well. So the only thing that matters right now is hopefully, like everyone, I guess, want that to get back at a high and fully nuke from it, right? To get as cheap as possible. Are we gonna get that? Like, who knows? But yeah, we've been breaking structure on that one, and that's high time frame, and even on weekly. So yeah, that's been freaking broken. Now we are just retesting the high of it. But yeah, of course, it's gonna be quite expensive. We're gonna be there or even higher. So I technically you don't need news for that as well. Like yeah, here as well. Like if people gonna say to me like, oh yeah, without news you couldn't pull this move off. Like believe me, if you show me this chart from over here, I would say like, okay, what are the conditions that you can break? Here, this low. You can break this low or below this. If you break that, like of course structure wise you did it, but you didn't wick into that below. Like you will eventually get back at here. Now $43 for oil. I mean, that's been a while we saw that, right? So yeah, you did blast through it here, right? You did technically blast through it because you did close above it, but you didn't get above the wick. So eventually, what we did is get back, nuke it, fully retrace. That was just like perfectly consistent move. And then the first ever regain happened over here. This regain over here, and the retest of that one blasted through it. Done. But yeah, that's hand side. Thank you, thank you. Land. I heard about that one, I guess. I'm not sure if that's the correct one, what I'm thinking, but yeah, I think that's the one. Oh no, at least the logo was. Or maybe any particular exchange that you're looking at? Because so far I can see it's quite a shitty one if they are not listed on any high volume one. Oh boy, if you are if you want Maxi, then hold you. Oh boy. Okay. Um yeah, you blast through it. The same thing. Like here as well. Like that was you don't consider this. You don't consider this. You consider always this structure as first. So broken structure, and then you regain the first regain over here and a hold of the previous low. And you blast it through. I have no clue what it is, but boy, this been going on. And now you're gonna unfortunately, you will get back at 0.10. You're gonna cover all of this fair value gap, fill the books again, and see if you're gonna hold it for longer and do it again. If not, you're gonna break the structure on it, and that's it. That was the pump and dump on it. If that's gonna be happening, but so far, not much to say. Yeah, it blasts through it. I have no clue why it did like that out of the blue, but it did hold on the structure on it, so that's good. If you get that, then that's your time to take some profits. And yeah, eventually you're gonna get back at the previous high, or at maybe even at 0.11. You're gonna leave this out for a bounce. This level, and this is what I'm gonna always mention, I guess. If you have this at the list price, and this is not a yearly level. This is not something that you ever consider to hold. It's there just because the indicator needs to print something. So this is just the list price. You don't consider this as a level. Only if that's going to be printed on the listing. Okay, just to let you know. But yeah, that's a good one that you got there. Oh, semiconductor stock. Oh, okay, makes sense that it blasted through. Okay, then it makes sense because if that's a good one actually. That's a really good one to find for those ones because I've been looking at different stocks as well. For example, I know already the reason why this blast through, right? We all know why. For example, where is it? This and even this blast all the way into the freaking universum. So yeah, that makes sense. Semiconductor, yeah, we need that for all of the freaking stuff that the Jews been blasting off. What is this doing? Why do I? Okay, cool. Let's regain. Okay. So yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I think that's all for me yapping around. If you guys don't have anything else for me, then I guess I did my job. For now. Hope everything was clear. All good and clear and lovely. Good. Awesome. Happy. Happy that I could help out. And yeah, like I said, go buy structure, guys. Like there is nothing else that matters. And make sure you wait for the candle close. That's the most important. Don't front run it or whatsoever. Just make sure you be patient with it. There's nothing to rush it. The price will get there eventually. Like yeah, I've been freaking waiting 4 months to get at the February to finally be in a short. But hey, we get there, right? uh, is no one getting attacked by weird-looking alien? Yeah, that's true. I said it. Can we move it now? Yeah. Oh. So yeah, I hope that's been clear. And yeah, let's see. Explain. I hope that's been clear. And yeah, don't don't get trapped, right? And if you are like feeling like you are trapped in something, just close and wait. Wait till the price settles, and especially with any kind of news, right? No matter what kind of news it is, or conference, or someone's going to speak, because why we don't trade news is because they always gonna be here, and news is always late because they inform you what's already happened. And believe me, if they say that they just make the decision, that's a bullshit because they did decision before and they just inform you about it. So you're always gonna be late by trading it, right? So it's a specific kind of weird thing to trade news. And to be honest with you, I don't know anyone anymore that is trading news like in a profitable way. So yeah, don't bother with it. Rhyme skills are the finest. Yeah, let's be. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's don't pick up that kind of a job. I don't think you're gonna survive it that for long. uh, it's okay. You tried. Well, cool, 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 cool. I hope everyone is happy then. And yeah, what's the charts? What's the structure? Pay attention for it. Set your alerts. Like, look at those 4 lines. Set the alerts on it. If something's gonna be broken, you're gonna be notified. You don't need to sit here and wait and wait. Just be patient, right? The price will come eventually to you. So keep it nice and noise free. That's the best thing. So yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate you all, and I will see you on the flip side Sunday. Bye bye.